Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch for our new live stream called You Drive. And this is the show where you in the audience, you guys in the chat, drive the direction of the show. You decide what we're going to talk about. You can ask questions. You can talk about what topics you guys want us to talk about. So we are going to start with talking about the new announcement from Hot Toys, and that's Paz Vizsla. And while I do that, if you guys want to just say hi, maybe shout out a question or a topic you want us to talk about, this is going to be one big conversation. So it's going to be pretty loose. It's going to be pretty laid back. And yeah, we'll get going from there. But first, I want to say hi to my special guest, Fabs Figures, with the merch. He's gearing up for a big coming out party, guys. He got a huge 4K cam coming. He's got a big old $1,000 microphone coming, and he's going to be Mr. Technology here coming up quick. So just get ready. He's taking his channel to the next level. So welcome, sir, and thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for being here as always. Thank you, Jedi, for having me. And as usual, lying to the audience, I am not gearing up for anything. I am just barely moving up in the world. Okay, so thank you guys, and I'm excited for my stuff.
It's gonna be fun to see you kind of like, I don't want to say struggle, but
you won't see that.
with
So thank you.
All right, so let's just check who's in the chat tonight. We do have primetime reviews. What is going on, my friend? Thank you for stopping in. 6-scale shenanigans says hello. We got Brick Artemis running late. I see. We were on time, but Fabs was playing with his toys, and then he disconnected all of his sound and microphone, so we had to figure that out quick.
Everything broke real quick. As soon as I plugged one thing in, everything fell apart. So it'll be
fun. I think when you're setting it up, you should just live stream it, so then you can just like
blow everything up live. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
trial and error.
Thank you, my friend.
We got Austin Nicholas in the chat. I can't wait to drive the direction of the show.
Austin.
So there are going to be a couple guidelines here. We're going to have to go through kind of the rules, but we got Figman. What's up, guys? Hanging loose. How are you? Happy Monday. Joker J, always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Thank you for coming.
Joker J.
And Austin says, coming out party for Fabs?
Oh, Austin.
All right, guys. So like I said, if you're coming in a little bit late, this is the show where you guys choose the topics. I do have a couple topics from some of you guys. So if it is drying out, we do have some stuff to talk about. But I mean, we do have to talk about the announcement that just hit late last night. And I think it's pretty safe to say this is a reissue. What do you think, Fabs?
No, this is not a reissue.
If you want to be technical, it's not.
Right. It's not. It's
he comes with a shield.
Right. It's rebranded. Different line. The Mandalorian. So wasn't he branded? What was the first line he was branded for? Wasn't it season 1?
Season 1, Heavy Mando.
Right.
Or Heavy Mandalorian.
Right,
so now he has a name.
Right. So now it's going to be the exact same thing. If you guys look at the pictures, comparing them side by side, you're going to see some very, very slight differences. But at the end of the day, when you do get the figure in hand, it's going to be the exact same figure. You're going to get the exact same figure with a shield added to it. Obviously, named differently, which is Paz Vizsla, but it's going to be the exact same figure. Packaging is going to be different, obviously, but there's nothing. People started selling them already on Facebook, so people already.
Which is weird. What?
Well, because
what do you think about that?
Well, it's a no-brainer for people who do that. You know what I mean? What are they going to do? They're going to sell it and wait for the new one because it's better. It comes with the shield that the first one doesn't come with. So you're really not losing out by getting rid of the first one. Obviously, you're going to get the updated one with the shield. Again, a lot of people, this is not, uncommon in the hobby where people start selling their 1.0s when they see a 2.0, which is exactly what this is. Even though it's very slight it's a very slight 2.0. It's still a 2.0. But I'm not, it is what it is. Obviously I'm going to get it. I'm not getting rid of my original one. There's no need. This is going to be completely different, but at the same time, the same exact figure. You could display, if you are keeping the first one, you could display this one without the machine gun and the backpack, and you could just have them with the knife and the shield, and keep the other one, without the knife and the shield, because obviously it didn't come with the shield. So I think it's a good way of having them both and displaying them differently. As you can see here, he doesn't have the machine gun, so this one would be a good way to display this way right here. But again, it's I'm not shocked that people are selling this at all.
Do you remember what the price was on the first one?
I think it was like
roughly
$3 or $4 less than this one.
Okay, because this one's coming in at $285.
Yeah,
which
so like
for the size of the figure doesn't seem too terrible. Estimated to ship April 2024 to September 2024, so roughly a year and a half. Probably go towards that year and a half mark. But yeah, I don't know. For me, if I have the first one, I don't really feel a need to get this one at all. So if you, like Fab said, people are rushing, and there's nothing wrong with that. They want the upgraded one. But for me, I don't see enough different to want to like sell and get this one. I would think that the one you have is probably good enough. Unless you really want this one, that's perfectly fine. But like to me, having the Beskar Mando, the 1.0, and going to the Chrome Mando, that seems like more of a jump than this one does, because there's at least that difference, that visual difference, where here you're literally just going to be getting a shield and a knife. And what details were different in the armor?
Yeah, so in some of the pictures, like if you zoom the picture in, I could show you what was different in the picture. So, for example, like right here, the chest, that centerpiece on the chest was in one of the images it was popping out, which I think it was this one, and the other one was flat. I could guarantee you it'll be the exact same thing. It'll be flat, just like the original one. Same exact bullet markings on the helmet, on the armor. The only thing that looked different was the leg, the thigh pads, the thigh armor was slightly bigger on the new figure than it was on the old figure. What else? There was something else. The helmet looked a little bit different. The amount of space in the neck, between the neck and the chest, was a little bit different. So there were slight differences in the pictures if you compare them. But again, sure. I could guarantee you it'll be the exact same figure.
Right. So if we remember correctly, this guy, the original, he actually went weightless before he hit the sideshow shelves, which was fairly uncommon, I would say. That people didn't even have like a shot at getting him. He sold out before he even arrived. But I gotta think that this one's gonna kind of be sitting for a while. Do you agree, or do you think differently about that? Do you think this one's going to sit, or do you think it's going to sell just as quickly as the first one did?
No, this is going to sit, because again, it's not. One thing is when the figure is, a 1.0 brand new figure, hasn't been made before. It was in the middle of the Mandalorian hype, so that I understand. But now it's being looked at as a reissue. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's no excitement. There's no immediate a need to go chase this. You know what I mean? So I don't think so. I think it's going to sit like everything else is sitting.
So I got to think that Paz Vizsla is going to have more of a role in the Mandalorian, because as you guys can see down here, it says scene inspired by the Book of Boba Fett. That's we kind of maybe think like, oh yeah, we saw him in season 2 of Mando, but really it was Book of Boba Fett. It was in those couple episodes where he was fighting Mando. So it's branded though as the Mandalorian, so I gotta assume we're going to be seeing more of him maybe in season 3, which, if you guys forgot, actually comes out Wednesday. It starts Wednesday. So
you did see him in the trailer though. You saw Heavy Mando in the trailer. He will be
there. So probably the armor as well. We'll probably see some more of her as well.
The door. Unbelievable. This guy. Every time. Every time. Oh, man.
Every mother time. This guy is going crazy. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the shield? Is it going to be just like is it that's the
It's
thing
gonna
too, like
it's gonna be the most
plastic.
useless. Yeah, it's gonna be the most useless, most unnecessary thing in the world. But it's
People are going
another
to want
figure.
it.
Yeah, it's another figure. I'm gonna want it because of the shield. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be nothing special. It's not gonna be anything fancy. It's not gonna be you know what I mean, like the
Like the
mark.
Iron Man,
Yeah, like the
like
mark. Exactly.
clamshell type. It
Exactly.
should no, this should be plastic though, I would think, like a thicker
No, that's not what I'm
plastic.
saying. What I'm saying is I got so excited for that figure. You know, the limited edition, the special edition was the one that came with the shield. So I got like 6 of those specifically for that shield. And it was the most disappointing thing in the world. So I know this is not going to be that material, but this is not going to be anything special either. But what makes this figure, wanted is that shield because there's besides that, there's nothing else different than the one that's out right now.
Right. Yeah, I was pretty much I saw it this morning and I was kind of like, yawn, kind of boring, but it is nice though for the people that did miss out completely because there were a lot of people. Again, this thing didn't even make it to the shelves on Sideshow. So people, I don't know do you think it was a small batch or do you think it was just something that everybody wanted at the time?
Yeah, no, I don't think there were a lot made. And another thing was that it was a different character, so it was a brand new thing. It was the type of character that it was. You know what I mean? It was a badass character. It was a big character.
Mhm.
It was a massive figure.
Meaty
Right? You knew it was
Mandalorian type or
right. You knew it was
like a Boba Fett type, I guess.
it was just the look of it. It was just it was like having a bodybuilding Mandalorian in your collection. You know what I mean? With a
Right.
huge gun, and it was just a huge presence. So of course, it's gonna be wanted. It's gonna be wow, that looks cool. What he did on the show obviously made him that much more popular. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Um, I don't think there were many made. I think that was the issue. There weren't many made, and it was just a new figure, and everybody just happened to want.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I gotta give it that. Like, I love the rocket pack. I always love these Mandalorian or these Boba Fett type figures where they have all this armor and all this attention to detail just never ceases to amaze me with like the paint scratches and the dents. These are the type of figures that just really they show a lot of detail. So that he's got the detailed pouches on the belt. That
Yeah,
left arm is kind
it's
of
all,
different from
it's
the
all
right. And it comes with the Gatling gun too.
no, you're gonna get the same exact figure with a shield. That's what I'm saying. Like even you get the knife, you get the jetpack, you don't get anything differently. You get the exact same figure with the shield. That's why it's a no-brainer, for them. To us, it's like why? But like you said, a lot of people missed out on it. And what I was gonna say was this is one figure that over the years since it's been released, it's not a figure that you constantly see being sold out there. You know what I mean? That's another thing. If you pay attention and you really think about the figures that you do see out there for sale constantly, it's never this one. You know what I mean? If I have seen it, maybe once, if that, and I'm just throwing that out there because I don't think I ever have. But that goes to show how rare and limited that figure is. That it's not a figure that's constantly being thrown around, whether it's on eBay or in the groups.
That's true. And for a while, he was going for like $500 range. But now, since yesterday, I've
I
seen
saw
him
one
for
for two. Yeah,
350, 280.
didn't you post something? Didn't you share something that was like
Yeah,
two?
I shared some in our group.
Yeah,
Somebody was selling it for 280 shipped, which
yep,
seems like I mean, that's a good deal because there's not much changing here. So if you're
right,
okay with the old one, now's the time to strike on that because
right.
A, you can get it
Or
for probably
or if you
cheaper
own
than
both,
this,
right? Or if you own both, you could get it.
but you don't have to wait the year and a half. You can get it now because now people are selling and then I
Right,
guess getting this one. So,
right.
for those of you that missed out, you can maybe even capitalize on that one and then get it very, very soon. So, good things for all people that are collecting right now. Let's see here. Coming up party. Yep. Taking
Yep.
his tan to the next level. FU Austin. Joker's bored already. Hopefully not of the show, but more of the figure. As he says, it's a cash grab. I mean, yeah, obviously, Hot Toys is in the business of making money, and this is an easy way for them to make some money. Let's just use like something we've already done.
Anytime you see a reissue or a 2.0, especially a 2.0 like this, that's a slap in the face. They're just adding one item and it's like, here you go. You know what I mean? Like, that sucks, but that's what they do. And it's, you either buy it or you don't. That's it,
Yeah. Cash grab. Yeah, it is. But they're going to make that money. So the one thing, though, I don't get, and Hot Toys has this long lead time, but when it's something that's so close to what you've done already, why couldn't they do it in like 6 months? Why is it still a year to a year and a half?
Because they still got stuff ahead of, those figures. Just because they have the stuff ready, from prior use.
I suppose it's so backlogged.
Yeah, like it doesn't mean that they have it just sitting there ready to be put together. You know what I mean? They still got to go back. They still got to, get the stuff ready.
Really, they just have the blueprints for it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? They still got to remake. I don't know how much in bulk they make these panels and these pieces per figures. Like for Mandalorian, they need a certain amount of panels. Shoulder pads printed. Thigh pads printed. So, or made, or however they're fabricated. But you need a certain amount. So I don't know how much they need or how much they make to where they have just tons of them just sitting there. Batches of them where they could just grab a body, put the clothing on and just start gluing the panels on. So, I don't know about that. So just because they made it before doesn't mean it's just ready to go. It would be great, and it would make sense, to have that mentality and say, well, they've already made it before. It should just be 1, 2, 3. That would be great. But it's, in reality, they still, how many other figures are they making now, before, this announcement? So it has to take time.
Well, and then I guess the flip side, and that's a good point, Fabs, but then I guess too, the flip side is you do have this one come out in 6 months, and then people are pissed like Ahsoka still hasn't released, or, figures that have been on pre-order for a year and a half. Like, why is this figure getting out, but not, not the one that was announced a year ago,
But
so
that would only affect the people who are waiting for, that one figure. You know what I mean? And what changes the situation is that specific figure that is being postponed. For example, if you're waiting for one of these, like for example, when Clone Wars Ahsoka was announced and she kept getting delayed, like something like that would cause a problem because it's a really, really, highly expected, highly wanted figure. It was the first time they had made an Ahsoka figure, and then they just kept delaying. So that would affect if, for example, they came out with this before the Ahsoka figure. You'd be like, "What the hell is this? Where's my Ahsoka?" That would piss you off.
Right.
That would piss you off. But if, for example, they did a really crazy, for example, they did an Arena Boba Fett in between, you wouldn't mind as much because you'd be like, "Oh, this is badass." You completely forget about Ahsoka because you just got this figure. So that's what I mean. It depends on what figure is being, postponed or pushed back that will affect, this coming out first. But that's the only thing that I think would affect it.
Okay. We got Cobra's collection in the house, and he is he's throwing some fire at us, Fabs. He says, "I apologize for being late. I was caught up unboxing my DeLorean." Hello, everyone.
Get this guy out of here. Unreal.
You know what? This is not for Fabs. This is for Cobra's collection.
He came in. He has a video of himself with the DeLorean in his car, rubbing it in people's faces. Like, I'm gonna go like, "Oh, excuse me if I don't answer today because I'm gonna be unboxing my DeLorean." Unbelievable. This guy.
Just see him like looking at the little doors going up and down. Like, yeah, that's nice.
Going up and down like this.
Turning on and off the lights.
Unreal. This guy.
Congratulations, Cobra's collection. That is pretty cool. Jealous.
And you know
Hopefully,
what he's gonna do. And you know what he's gonna do with it. He's just gonna body swap it. Unbelievable. Unreal.
we got we showed this before, but we got the Thor in the house. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. And he says, Ahsoka and Mando just went low stock. I'm assuming it's the 1.0 Beskar Mando.
Yeah, the lies.
Because they've been doing everything they can to get rid of that 15% sale he's been on for a while. I think something like that.
The lies continue.
The lies. You checking?
That's all I have to say. Checking what?
I don't know if you're checking Sideshow.
No, I never check Sideshow. I don't believe anything.
What do you guys think keeps this hobby interesting year after year for you? What keeps it more exciting than most of the women you've been with? Interesting.
What?
So what do you think keeps this hobby interesting year after year for you? What keeps you going? Just the addiction?
Wait, me?
Keep, to keep buying stuff?
Yeah, the figures, man. What else? Anything. I feel like anything that is announced is just potential, masterpiece. So I'm always excited for any new one, even if like for something like this that like we already have and it's not exciting. Like to me, this is not exciting by any means, but we're getting a new figure, and that just means more figures to the collection, and that just always, that I don't mind that at all. I'll collect all day, every day. You know what I mean? So I just get excited for that.
Yeah, I think things, they keep getting better. The figures get better, and I think it's exciting to see what even the paint applications or the sculpts, seeing them get better. It's almost like watching video games evolve over time too. And we thought like Game Day 98 was so awesome because you could somewhat see the emblems on the helmet, and you're like, wow, I can see the numbers. And now you have PlayStation 5 and you're just like looking at these games, you're like, geez, those look like crap. And it's kind of the same thing with Hot Toys once in a while, where I remember seeing pictures of things I had. I was like, yeah, that's a really good figure. And then I look back because we got a 2.0 or something. Like, no offense, Fabs, your RoboCop, RoboCop 3.
I was just going to say something about that.
Like, I'm sure back when that came out, it was like the bee's knees. But then you compare it to the one we have or the one that's coming out, and you're like, wow, that doesn't look very great.
I think Luis said something in the when I posted it. He goes, wow, they've come a long way. And I said, how dare you? But it's true. But it's true.
I was going to say something mean too, but I was like, it's too early for that.
They're so crappy looking. But again, like you said, even back then, they were the best of the best of the best. And they've always been, even at their worst, you get the crappiest figure from them that you could possibly find. And they were the best during that time. That's how crazy.
It kind of tells a story of, like, if you have it in your collection, like if you have both, just comparing them to, not to put one down, but it's almost like where we've come from and where we're going and the history. And like you said, it might even have like sentimental value to you as well. So it is still cool to have those pieces. It doesn't mean they're just trash and we throw them to the side. So there is a reason to even collect, I think, those old figures, just because it was a different time and, different technology and whatnot. But I think the other thing too, for me, Fabs, is we're still getting a lot of characters that we haven't gotten yet. So that, it's exciting to look at your collection and be like, wow, if I could just add this character, I think it would really help the display. And it's a weird hobby too, because I do find enjoyment in literally, like, I work from home a lot, so I'll do some work, and then I have like it's not a recliner, but like a rocking recliner chair over here. I'll literally just come and sit, stare at the collection for at least 15 minutes, and just kind of admire it and look at the figure and the detail. And, it still is relaxing and refreshing to do that.
One thing,
I don't know. I don't know how you look at all yours, just because that would take probably like 3 hours in itself. But
one thing I noticed, so when you say like it's still cool or it's still a good idea to collect the old figures, the thing is this: when you're in this hobby and you're in it for the likeness and you're in it for what these figures look like, right? And you're just getting into it now, and you see the work that is being done now compared to, again, something like that RoboCop, or something like, I don't know if you saw these Rambo figures or these Rocky figures. They're horrible. But again, back then they were the best of the best. Now they make a Rambo now. Why would you want to go back to a crappy figure? You know what I mean? So that's what turns people off. If you're going to get the best of the best right now, why would you go backwards?
Right.
So that's why I understand that. I understand that, I wouldn't go backwards if I had just gotten into this. Why would I want to go backwards? They look crappy. But I came from during that time when they look like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I went backwards. That was the time that I was, collecting those figures. So for me to have, the very, very original one and then all the remakes, to me that's meaningful because I've taken that journey with that company for that long. You know what I mean? That I've watched them and I've pretty much grown with them. You know what I mean? Like, because over 10 years, collecting, you're changing as a person and you're watching this company change and evolve, with you as a customer of it, as a fan of it. So that's why, like, I hate selling my stuff. I just love my collection. I love having what I have. And again, because I could always go back and compare. That's another thing. I could be like, oh, they used to do this. Now they don't do this anymore. Or just look at the Tony Stark head sculpt, from the original Mark I. Now look at the, so I love being able to do that. So that's why I understand somebody who doesn't want to go backwards because there's really no need if you're in it for the likeness. But if you're in it for the history, I would say, then, why not?
Well, I know you don't collect for like resale purposes, but because of what you just said, new collectors and whatnot, they aren't going to go backwards to get that RoboCop 3 figure. So it could even become more of a rarity, over time where not many people are going to have that in their collection. So it just sets you more apart from everybody else too. But then also, I think it would be cool to have like over time when Hot Toys has like been at this even longer, like for you especially, to have a display where you have like the first RoboCop that they made, the second one, the next one, and you can kind of like, it's almost like a linear timeline of seeing how the figures change. Like even that in itself could be a reason to collect some of these older figures just to have the comparison between the two. Like not everybody's going to want to do that, but it could be a fun thing to do.
If it's something like, let's say you collect a specific line, then that would make total sense. Like, for example, if you were, let's just say a Blade fan, right? So you have that original Blade. Then let's say they just happen to make a new Blade, which they're gonna, for the new Blade, the new actor, right? And then you have the new Blade, but even though it's not the same actor, you got the new, and that Blade, that original Blade 2 figure is still to this day, it's beautiful. It still holds up right now with any other figure that's out right now, with any brand new, newly sculpted figure. So stuff like that, like I understand that. But if it's like to go back and try to like get every old figure, like it's not worth it. Like the only figure I want to go back for right now, this moment, is like I told you guys that Italian Stallion Rocky, that golden gloves and the golden shorts. That's the only one I'm missing. I would go back for that. I did see it for like $750 on eBay, which is still a lot, but I would probably pay $400 or $500 for that figure.
Wow. So hopefully that was a good question, Joker. I liked that question. I think that was very good conversation. Going to the Thor, he did mean Ahsoka and Grogu have hit the low stock warning, so still not that Mandel yet. Brick says, will Sideshow start doing more figures? I wonder if he means Hot Toys outside of DC, Star Wars, and Marvel. For example, Planet of the Apes, HBO series, Dune, Fast and Furious, etc. I'm going to assume he means Hot Toys Fabs. I know the answer to this, but if you want to take the wheel here and steer this one, you can.
They have done figures for specifically Planet of the Apes. They've done for Mars Attacks. They've done, old lines like that. The problem is, these lines go back how many years? This is like not their very beginning, but they were, it was early in their days when they were making those lines. They only made, I want to say, Mars Attacks, I believe it has 2 to 3 figures. The Planet of the Apes, I believe, has about the same 2 to 3 figures. I want to say about 3 at least. The problem was, again, very early on, they didn't have, they were not making as much. So I guess they lost interest for those licenses. So I don't think that those are ever going to be made again. And they've had how many movies after the original ones that they did make? How many movies after that did they have the chance to make them over the years? And they never did. You know what I mean? So that shows that they're not interested in that line. At least the Planet of the Apes. Everything else, I doubt it because, again, over the years, they would have made at least one. And they just did it, Fast and the Furious. Dune, I think a third-party company got into those. Actually, I think a couple of third-party companies got into that. Fast and the Furious, no, nobody gets into that because what are you really going to make? You know what I mean? They're just regular. It would be mostly about the head sculpt, and nobody's really, people
maybe
like
vehicles.
Them. Well, vehicles that would be another thing, but who's really looking for these actors? If anything, anybody looking for Fast and the Furious would be from the very, very first movie. Everything after that doesn't really matter. So that's why it's not such a big market. Even though, again, you may love the movies, but not a lot of people, especially now. These movies are like crazy. They're going out to outer space. Like, it's insane. So I don't think I don't think those movies are the same anymore. But if they could have gotten away with making the first movie, and they would have made a lot of money. And the vehicles,
it's like Die Hard. In the first movie, he's literally just like this cop in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then by the fourth one, he's like jumping through helicopters and like doing all this crazy shit,
destroying helicopters with taxis and stuff. Like,
It's Hollywood. But I think the reason I would say no too is just because Hot Toys has really, I mean, Star Wars, Marvel are Disney. They're really focused on the money makers, which is Disney.
That was your answer.
Yeah.
Disney. That's it. That's the answer.
So because that other stuff is more of like the miscellaneous or the one-off, maybe with the new Planet of the Apes movie, you get 1 or 2 figures, but that'll be it. They're never going to focus on a line like that. Maybe with The Last of Us one day, but again, I don't know what the rights are, but like maybe they would do Joel and Ellie, but that'd be it. Maybe a clicker, I don't know. But the thing, though, that you can look for if you're okay with it is I think a lot more third party are going to do some of that stuff because Hot Toys already owns the DC, Star Wars, Marvel lines. So why, for them, it's like, let's try to make something different so that we can still survive as a business and have people buy, some of the stuff outside of like the Disney line. Because even DC, it doesn't really get a lot of love when you think about Star Wars and Marvel. When you compare it to those two, DC still gets a lot of stuff, but I think it's just because it is so popular. But it's still number 3 on that list. So, Hot Toys over the last few years that I've been collecting, typically maybe 2 miscellaneous figures a year. Fabs, is that right? I mean, was it last year was Pennywise? We've gotten John Wick a couple years ago.
It was
I can't think of
it was John Wick.
2 years ago.
We got Hellboy. We've gotten
Hellboy. But it's pretty. It's like you can count it on one hand, probably in 1 year.
It's never a lot.
Yeah. So that's
it's DC, Star Wars, Marvel. That's the main stuff all year long, and then one random figure here and there.
And it is kind of a bummer because there are so many cool things out there. And before my time, from what I have experienced or heard, it was Predator and Terminator were kind of like their focus for a while.
Aliens too. They had
Aliens too. Yeah.
They had the soldiers. The Marines. They had a lot of stuff. The Terminator, the original Terminators. What was his name? The main. Oh God, I can't remember his name. The guy who went to save Sarah Connor.
Oh,
what was his name in the movie?
Reese.
Right, Kyle Reese. So he was in the Hot Toys made a figure of him. The crappiest figure you'll ever find, but they have him. They have one of him. They have a battle damaged I think it's T800 of Arnold that looks disgusting, but they made it. You know what I mean? So they used to focus on a lot of those. They made a few figures, and then they remade them over the years. Same thing with the Predators.
Yep,
They,
2.0s.
they used to have like those kits that you would put together, you
Oh,
would pop on.
the
You know,
netting.
yeah, you would pop the bodies, you would put the outfits on, pop every this here and there, and then eventually they stopped all that and they just made the actual full bodies, and that's when the figures got really really nice. So over the years they've changed a lot. Same thing with the magnets. Everybody suddenly just and I understand a lot of people weren't around back then, and not only weren't around back then, but they don't own these figures. The whole magnet thing with InArt. Oh my God, they're innovating and they're adding magnets and this and that. Hot Toys did this, years ago with the Tony Stark from Iron Man 3. With this base here. The Tony Stark that came with this base. He has magnetic forearms that attach and detach for you to attach his Iron Man suit on. And again, nobody talks about that. Nobody again, because I know a lot of people don't have the figure. A lot of people may not remember. A lot of people, just forgot. But Hot Toys has been doing stuff first forever because they've been around forever. So just that simple.
So here's a question. We don't think they're ever going to focus on, like, primarily focus on Terminator, Aliens, or Predator anymore.
Never.
Do you think, though, we'll ever get
more figures? Yes.
reissues? Not even more figures, but like reissues or 2.0s. Do you think they'll do them all? Do you think they'll do none? Do you think they'll pick like the most popular ones and do a couple?
I don't think they'll do reissues. I think if anything, they have tons of aliens that they can make. Not aliens, predators that they can make. So they could always come up with different ones because there are so many. If you look at the movies, they always show you one or two. But if you ever look at the ships, there's always multiples in there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're all different. Every time at the end of the movies, it's never just one. It's always multiples. At the end, so they could show you those. They can make those new ones. They could, they could come up with so many ideas. That new movie that just came out. Prey. They could come out with that.
That's a good one.
And that's a possibility as well. So they can. It just depends on what works for them and what makes sense to the point where they can make a certain amount of figures and make that money without having to overextend themselves, making too many figures and then hoping that they don't make that money.
When's the last time they came out with a Predator figure? I've been collecting for 3 years now, and I have not, they've been long gone since I started.
The last one they came out with was one of the either
Predators or Alien vs. Predator, maybe the 2.0s.
No, I don't. It was a because there was a Celtic one.
Yep.
The
ancient
elder. There was an elder. It was one of those three, either the Celtic, the elder, or the it wasn't the
ancient.
chopper. It wasn't the it was one of those three. One of those three.
Man, so like, I mean, Predator's still pretty popular and has a following, and you can do a lot with it, but yeah, I guess it's just not a priority for them right now.
It's been a while, but I think I don't think they're going to be reissuing anything anytime soon, but they will make more.
And that's one of the cool things too I like seeing about like people's collections is it's like stuff outside of the three, the Trinity as I call it, the DC, the Marvel, and the Star Wars. Like I've seen people that just had like and you probably have the same thing, but like an entire Predator collection. It's cool and it's different and it stands out.
I could never do something like that just because I like too many things. But when I see that, I think that's some crazy it could be both, but love for the character or some crazy discipline, because they usually just have that single character and nothing else. You know what I mean? So it's like
it's just variants, really.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't like nothing else. They're like, nope, that's it. And so that to me is like, wow, like that's insane because I could never. But yeah, I can't be like that.
Collector Chris, I'm just waiting for the 40th Return of the Jedi. These are easy passes. So he's talking about Paz Vizsla. What are a couple figures, Fabs, you think this year we're gonna have announced for Return of the Jedi? Probably a Darth Vader. Maybe the 1/4 scale shrunk down to 1/6 with the head sculpt included.
We're definitely getting that head sculpt. That's the only Darth Vader that I have that's from Sideshow with the head sculpt. Um, but I think that's coming. I don't know if this year, but we're getting a lot of Star Wars, just in general anyway. But it's hard to tell because they don't really focus on like. So when we talk about, this movie and that movie, it's always never that. You know what I mean? It's always everything else but that. And especially,
Right.
Return of the Jedi is one of them. Like they don't make much of that, ever. So there's tons that they can make at any moment.
I could see us being due for a Han Solo from Endor. With the cool like trench coat, the camo trench coat. And we only have the 2 Han Solo figures. How many Lukes do we have? And even how many Leias do we have? Like, let's get another Han Solo. I think that would be pretty cool.
I think that could be next too, believe it or not. The one that they teased with what's her name?
You heard it here first.
What was the figure that came out? Was it Leia? It was Leia.
Endor Leia and Wicket.
I think so. No, it wasn't Wicket. Who was the one with the maroon outfit? That Han was in that picture with her.
Oh,
Not Bespin. Well, that's not Bespin, is it? Bespin Leia? No.
Bespin had the red. She had the red dress.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's Bespin.
Yeah, so I think one of those images has that Han Solo in it that was never released or never announced.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. When he was tortured.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could be next.
Do you think they do any reissues for like Return of the Jedi, like Emperor, bring him out again? Do you think they do anything like that? Maybe
No reissues for that anytime soon. Which is
or
I think
2.0s.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so either. Not anytime soon. If anything, we're gonna get an Emperor from either episode 3 or episode 2, whatever they decide. But I think we'll get a new Emperor way before, and maybe even a Chancellor too, way before we get any reissues or 2.0s of anything. Because remember, they could always make that money twice, right? Think about it. You'll use that. You have the Emperor already with the chair, right?
Yep.
You could make a younger version of him, for the episode, 2 or 3, and then later on use it as a 2.0, and then there's your double. You just made the money again. So it's just same thing like they did with the Ant-Man head sculpt from Civil War. Now they're shoving it down our throat with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So they do this. This is what they do. So they could do that, at any moment.
I don't think we're gonna get like a slave Leia. I think that's too racy, too explicit. Jabba would be cool. We do have the sideshow statue or the 6 scale statue or figure, if you want to call it. That would be cool, but I mean, I don't think he has to have that huge base. Like if we just have Jabba with something a little bit more simpler so that he fits in more shelves at a lesser price, I think that'd be pretty cool. But he's a big character, so that is tough. I'm trying to think, what else? I mean, they've given us the scout troopers and the speeder bikes, Leia, Luke, Emperor, Wicket. So I'm trying to think what else we're missing. That's worth doing, like a main type of character. So it'll be interesting to see if anything they give us. I mean, you'd think we'd get at least a couple figures, and I think one will be that Darth Vader.
But the thing is that even side characters are game now. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It could be anything because
True.
It's not just limited to the main characters anymore. You know what I mean? So now you're getting Jawas, you're getting the like I said, the side characters. So anything's possible. Which is awesome. It's not like you're so limited to only main characters because for people who collect everything and they want to complete those lines, it looks that much better. So I'm not complaining about that at all.
Sure. Yeah, I was talking with Brick the other day too. Just a quick side note, because he's asking what figures were out for Phantom Menace, And I was like, oh, I think there's a few. And then I'm like racking my brain. I was like, well, there's Darth Maul and
Yeah,
Qui-Gon, and I'm like,
that's it.
shit, I think that's it. Like,
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
yeah.
But
That's what I'm
so I
saying.
mean,
There's
there's still a lot they can do everywhere.
everywhere, and that's my point. Like it's
Right.
you're never there's never not going to be anything to talk about regarding Star Wars in general. Anything doesn't
Right.
matter what movie, doesn't matter what show, doesn't matter. Something's coming.
You got all these figures you can do. And then just when you think maybe they've done most of them, well, then by that point, they can probably reissue or 2.0 and do them better because of like technology and everything, like if years pass. So like there's always something they can do. So it's pretty good
Yeah,
business to be in if you ask
but
me.
if you notice that the Star Wars stuff is not something that they constantly reissue. You know what I mean?
That's true.
If you pay attention. So I don't expect that from them. I don't expect them. I feel like if anything, they will always come out with a new figure because again, the Star Wars universe is so big that they could always come out with a new figure before they have to reissue anything. I understand, for Marvel, DC, we got the main characters and they're the main stars. So we have to get a Batman, we have to get a Superman, we have to get a a Deadpool, a Wolverine. Like I get it. But when it comes to Star Wars, I feel like even side characters have such an important role in their films that's why they make them, and that's why people want them in their collection as well. So that's why I'll never like lock myself in with, oh, what do we, can we get this, because it's so open, it's so big that it could be anything.
Here's an interesting one from Eddie. He says C3PO, maybe C3PO with the chair.
I
Come on
think
with a C3PO.
I think the fact that we're getting that first C3PO from episode 2,
To Attack of the Clones.
right? I think that that's just opening the door for every other C3PO that's coming.
Yeah.
Same for R2D2, they're going to make them all. So the fact that they're starting, it's they're pretty much showing you like the beginning. You know what I mean? They're starting with the beginning with what C3PO was supposed to be in the very beginning. So it works out perfect for them. So that's why I think it's just the beginning for this is going to be just the first C3PO.
Well, and Single Songwriter has a good point too. He's naming off some of these figures that could be coming in, and like Chewbacca, it's a good time to do a Chewbacca figure, but brand it Return of the Jedi, and then you still have value here with A New Hope, Chewie. So like it's kind of like a smart idea too to come out with a new figure, but we're rebranding it to a different movie. Maybe give him a different accessory or two, and then this one still holds its value in my. It's just kind of a different way of looking at it, I guess.
Well, like I said, I've always said that this is the only hobby where the original ones don't matter, which it's the craziest thing because I never understood. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I always keep my originals for that reason because I know that to me, the original ones, you go to a museum, you never find the newest stuff. You know what I mean? You always find the oldest. So
Sure.
I always have that mentality. I always think that way, and I have that in the back of my mind where it's like this collection it's gonna be a big deal one day. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't get rid of stuff.
Okay, here's a question for you. William Wallace from Braveheart versus Maximus from Gladiator. Which would be a better figure? I would say, this is tough. This is really tough, actually, because, William Wallace has like that, that homemade armor. He's got the kilt, but then he's probably gonna have that cool blue face paint. Hopefully sculpted hair, I'd have to say. But then Gladiator has all that armor, like that Roman armor. That would look really cool. That's a tough because I'm assuming you've seen both movies, Fabs.
I've never seen Braveheart. I've never seen Braveheart, but I know what you're talking about. I know like the character.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Jeez. I think I would go Gladiator just because I really do like that movie. And then I think the shot, like chrome for the armor, I think would look pretty badass. And then you got that cool helmet that you could have too. It almost reminds me of like your 300 figure, you know,
Leonidas. Yeah,
King Leonidas. I think that would be a good one to have. I'd still like that one
it's a great
if
figure.
I could afford it.
Yeah, that body for that figure was
And that'll
like
never get remade. I got to say, that'll probably never get remade. I don't see a reason why.
same thing with Blade. Blade will never get remade
Yeah.
ever.
So I'm going to go with Maximus.
Yeah,
Is that what you're going with too?
yeah, same. I would really like that the armor. I would really like the like you said, or even just like a battle damage armor would be sick. You know what I mean? I always liked, anything with armor. That's why I love Iron Man so much. Besides other things, but I would do the Maximilian
Did the third party make him already?
a bunch of times, a bunch.
Do you
of
have
times.
any of them?
Absolutely not. Because they're so like because it's
Absolutely not.
no, they're so cheap looking to me, and I know a lot of people love these things, but for some reason, like when I look at them, when I see them, like I'm like they don't do it for me. Uh, so I'm just like, same thing with those like TB League gods, those Egyptian gods. Like
Sure.
I when I saw them, I'm like, man, they look so good, but then I know it's those TB League bodies that they use. You know what I mean? So it's like, like I don't really want to pay for a kit bash. And now I regret it because when Moon Knight came out and those gods were in the show, I was like, oh no. So yeah.
Eric says making Gladiator 2 movie. I haven't heard that. I gotta check that out.
Well, what's his name is like 500 pounds right now, so he ain't doing it.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that ship is passed.
Oh my god. He's probably gonna be the guy cleaning the horse on the side.
Hey, we all get old, Paz. We all get old.
Speak for yourself. I'm young.
Brick says I do like that RoboCop though. I think he's referring to yours to have some cool old stuff and say, you were there when it came out. Part of the fun, right there. Yeah, that is part of the fun.
Yeah, it's part of the history. You know what I mean? Like you were there when it was made. You have a piece of something that could be looked at as the crappiest thing, but that's not what makes a collection valuable. You know what I mean? It's not what it looks like. It's the age. It's the product. It's what it is. It's the meaning of it in its genre. It's a lot of things. It's not just what it looks like.
Joker says that's the thing that brought me back into collecting. The realism is better and better, and the offerings are diverse. In a way, the offerings are less diverse, but in a way, they're more diverse because, like you said, side characters are fair game, but they have focused more on the Trinity, which kind of stinks. Like Predator, Terminator, I love those things. William Wallace, Gladiator, Leonidas, more stuff like that would be really cool. But if they don't think they're going to make their money, then obviously, they're not going to do it.
Right.
William Wallace.
You know what I would love them to make after they made the Pennywise, and then obviously when they made the Tonto figure, I wanted them to make a Willy Wonka so bad. You know how good that Willy Wonka would be? A Johnny Depp Wonka? My God.
See, I'd want the Gene Wilder one.
Nah, that's too basic. That would just be, a head skull. Like,
too basic.
Yeah, no,
he's got the hair. He's got that unique face. He still has the hat, the cane, the cane.
Yeah, but no, I'm telling you, it's Johnny Depp's is more iconic just because he looks more creepy. You know what I mean?
No way. Okay, guys, in the chat, let us know who is more iconic for Willy Wonka, Johnny Depp or Gene Wilder. I gotta say it's gonna be Gene Wilder.
If you put Gene and Johnny Depp next to each other, Johnny Depp pops. Just that outfit pops over his. Just period. That's what I mean. I mean,
maybe if you have like those glasses and stuff, but
that's what I'm saying. The whole figure.
I gotta say, Gene Wilder was more
and
iconic.
That hair, that perfectly cut hair, those big teeth. Those Ant-Man teeth would have worked for that figure 100%. Unreal.
I already got Joker on my side, so that's all I need.
Joker.
No, but seriously, like, man, Willy Wonka, like, what's the I always forget, and I pre-ordered the figure, the Scissorhands figure, but who made that? Art Figures?
Yeah.
If they could even do something like that, like, I bet it would look halfway decent.
No, they could, absolutely. That they could do it. Daft Toys could do it. Present Toys could do it. Uh, any of those companies could do it. I know. What is it? Toys R Us won't do something like that, but any of
What
those.
about Blazing Saddles? You ever see that movie? It's not
I don't.
appropriate
Yeah, no, I
this
don't.
day and age, but it is hilarious. It's got Gene Wilder in it as well.
Yeah,
And that would be pretty funny. But
somebody
everybody is saying Gene Wilder, by the way.
did tell me that to go see that movie years ago, and I don't know. I
If
forgot
you have
about.
I think if you have a sense of humor, like I think you do, I think you'd enjoy it. I mean, it's from the '60s, and I don't think it would pass, like obviously in today's world with people kind of getting offended, but it's really funny seeing people kind of joke about stuff.
Is it
Yeah, Gene Wilder.
is it like Naked Gun?
Yeah, but
Because Naked Gun is
lots more jokes about like race and
right like
stuff
that.
like that. So yeah,
Uh-uh.
but I'm glad that you guys all sided with me that Gene Wilder is more iconic. So thank you guys. But seriously though, either one of those figures would be so cool in the display. You know, that purple coat, the top hat, it would look great. You know, and that's why I want that Scissorhands figure, because while I love having the DC, the Marvel, the Star Wars, I do want some of those different ones, like from the movies that we watched growing up, like that mean a lot. So Edward Scissorhands was definitely one of them. And if you can find those third party figures that are really good, but then also not overly expensive, I mean, that's a win-win. So you can't really go wrong there.
Yep.
Damn. Now you got me all like
No, because it's
excited about like a
because you know what
Willy
I was
Wonka.
thinking about the Edward Scissorhands. Like I said, the Tonto figure. I wish, and I hope to still. I still hold on to hope that one day they will make the Lone Ranger figure to go with Tonto. They teased the
That's
figure.
so weird.
Yeah, they teased the figure just because the movie didn't do so well. Like they completely scrapped it, but the figure looked incredible, and they never made it.
Do you think it's because maybe they're just like, well, Johnny Depp's more of like a well-known actor, more of maybe like a beloved person that you know, there might just be people that want it because it's Johnny Depp.
Well, that's number one. That was the main reason why, was because he was the bigger actor out of the two, but um, it was just because the movie didn't do well. They didn't want to bother, spending all this money on a figure that they weren't gonna sell. The problem is, during that time, they weren't making as many figures. You know what I mean? So they could have made the figures, and they would have. Right now, that figure would have been a grail, just like the Tonto figure is a grail right now, because not everybody has that figure.
I don't know. It's still going for pretty cheap though. I've seen it selling for like 180.
Is it? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
seen
not
it.
expensive.
I haven't seen it being sold at all. So I figured everybody was keeping it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that figure for sale, and that's how I try to gauge like if something is like not very well taken in the community, when it's like when you constantly see it being sold like everywhere. Then that's when I'm like, oh, they either made too many or it wasn't good. But if I don't see it, I'm like, oh, that must have been a hit.
Sure. What's your favorite Predator figure?
Oh my god. Um, I like the Scar a lot, believe it or not. A lot. Like I love that. I love the fact that he's a massive body, and that shield with the scar on, with the he's got that.
Yep.
I think that's the way that the face mask looks on that figure too. It looks beautiful. So that's one of my favorites. I have a couple more, but that's like the one that stands out. And obviously, Classic is one of the best too.
Yeah. Alien versus Predator it's a fun movie. I wouldn't say it's a good or great movie, but I do enjoy watching it. But man, the Predator characters that came out of that movie are pretty damn good, and they made a lot of figures. So if there's one thing that movie, did well, is they made a bunch of different Predator characters, which Hot Toys then capitalized off of. So I think you do have like Ancient, Celtic, Scar, and then that other Elder all came from that movie. So, or maybe the Elder came from Requiem, or maybe they didn't make anything from Requiem, but maybe it was the first Alien vs Predator. But I've only owned 3, but I really do like the Ancient Predator as well. But I, like you said, Fabs, I think the Classic Just because you can use it as predators or as like the jungle hunter from the first Predator.
I
It's
have
just a really good figure.
I have a perfect example of, maybe you could share this real quick because I want to show you something about this figure that hold on, that you go ahead. I shared. You could just pull it up. So this was made from that line that you just said, the Requiem line. The
Okay.
problem with this figure is one of the figures that I don't have. So this figure was like something like 13 inches. So like the thing was like humongous. Like it was really, really tall. But this is what happened to those figures. Or this was one of the figures you kind of like had to pop in together. See? So this is how they
Hmm.
used to come. So what happened to these figures was this. The joints started like acting up, and then when you were trying to put it back in, the pressure of the rubber suit was not allowing you to put in the whole joint. And this, the whole like, you know, the hand, the socket of it would like just lose tension. Like, you would just not. It was the worst thing in the world. So, see, look, it was the most common issue with these things, and so I could never like justify spending 375 because they're not cheap.
Jeez. Yeah.
300 $375 for this figure. I was like, absolute. Look, 550. Look at that. This was 375 back then. And I was like, you know what? And just the common problem that they were having, this rubber material would completely disintegrate, and it would just start flaking and drying. These figures were a nightmare. But I just wanted to show you why. So there's more figures that were made because of these rubber suits. I didn't get them because they turned to shit. I only have one alien figure, and that is my dog alien, and that's the only one I bought, and I have it posed there as him running, and I never moved it, and it is what it is. I only have one alien, and and the reissue, what's that called? The reissue. Oh my god, what do they call that alien? Big Chap?
Oh, Big
No,
Chap or the Warrior.
I think
You
it's
had
the
Big Chap and then you had Alien Warrior.
No, it was the Warrior. I didn't have the Big Chap. It was the Warrior, the one that they just recently made with what's her name, with Ripley years ago.
Okay.
The last one was so I have that one too. So I have Dog Alien and the Warrior that they made. Yep.
So really quick too. Here's Tonto. So
Oh wow.
175, 200, 170, 170.
I had no idea. I thought, again, I don't see him at all, so I'm like, oh, that must have been a hit.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about picking him up.
He's good. He's a really nice figure.
I mean, brand new, you get him still for 278. I think the head sculpt is great.
That's what I mean. That's the best
obviously
part.
the joints are a little
No, don't worry about the
iffy,
joints.
but
Don't be weird.
yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I actually enjoyed the movie, so it'd be kind of a cool figure. But yeah, like you said, if you don't have both of them, it's kind of a little bit
Yeah,
weird.
it's like,
But I thought about picking them up a while back, and then I just decided, I don't need them. But
no, I
yeah,
wish
he's cheap still.
Yeah. No, I wish they made this the what do you call it? The Lone Ranger figure. That would have been a great set. That would have been a Batman and Robin duo, just like the 77.
And you like Monty Python, right?
What?
Do you like Monty Python?
Who?
Monty Python. Have you seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, single songwriter saying that the Blazing Saddles movie is over the top, kind of Monty Python style. They say so much stuff you got to watch it twice. Blazing Saddles. There are a ton of famous celebs in it.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen that. Monty Python. I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it. I've actually never seen Monty Python. It's more of like a.
If it's an older movie, like an older, definitely
70s,
never.
early 70s maybe.
Yeah.
What about westerns? You ever watch westerns? Clint Eastwood?
Not at all.
No.
Because I came here in 1992, and I knew nothing about anything, what was going on here during that time. So I don't remember, I don't know a lot of like the really really old like pop history that was going on during that time. So
Okay. Did they ever make Bad Boys figures?
no, over the years they did make a Will Smith custom. Somebody did. I don't remember ever seeing a what's his name? A what's the guy's name? Martin Lawrence figure, but
Yep.
I've seen a Will Smith for that movie, but never no company ever made them.
Okay.
At least that I
So
remember.
I'm caught up with the chat, guys. If you have any other topics you want to discuss, or if you have any questions for Fabs or myself or both of us that you want to ask, I don't mind personal questions as long as it's not like too personal or inappropriate. But like, um,
Oh my god!
I do have a couple things here that our friend Austin did give me for some topics. So I'll ask this one. He wants to know, what are your other hobbies? What other hobbies do you have? What do you enjoy? Is there anything else that you do, or is this like it?
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Oh, he wanted to know that about me. He could text me.
Well,
Text
it's
me. No, no. So I go.
just ask, man. Just ask.
I go to the gym. I love going to the gym. I've been going to the gym, on and off since I'm 15 years old. I play soccer. I've been playing soccer, ever since I was a kid. But I just picked it up again. I stopped playing soccer as a senior when I graduated high school, and then I picked it up again in 2020. So I do. I keep busy. I like keeping busy. I don't like I said, I don't watch TV. That's why you guys make fun of me. I don't sit home watching. I just can't. You know what I mean? It's not.
Which is funny because all your figures are from TV.
Exactly. But this is like different. Suck it. So
2023, these nuts.
D'Lo 2023, these nuts.
Hobbies for me, I mean, I've always been a sports guy. I know Fabs, you said you like soccer. I like football. So when football season comes around, it's like all bets are off. So I definitely I collect mini helmets for every NFL team, play fantasy football, and try to watch every game on Sunday. So I'm a diehard. I've been watching football since I was in like second grade. Just something attracted me to it. So football. I like to play basketball. I like to golf. I used to golf a lot more before I had kids. Actually, something that a lot of people don't know is I'm actually into like whiskeys and cigars as well. My buddy Brick Artemis and I actually had a channel called Simple Diversion. You guys can check that out if you want. We haven't done any videos for over a year, but it was fun at the time. But I'm kind of like an old soul. I kind of like to just sit back, especially in summertime, have a cigar, sip on some whiskey. But I think those are pretty much it. Like our basement is kind of like a mash of all of my hobbies. Like in the room that we have the TV, there's like football stuff, and then we have the bar with the whiskey, and then in my office here, it's pretty much like all the hot toys and stuff like that. So the wife is nice enough to kind of just let it spill all over down here, but to try to keep it contained. But yeah, I think those, and obviously I'm a big movie buff. I guess that's a hobby too. Is I love watching these movies, and that's what really makes me want to collect these figures in 6 scales, because I love the movies or the TV shows so much, and they mean something to me. So I like to think like this is like my past and present right here. Like the movies that I grew up with, the Terminators, the Predators, the Turtles, the Batman, and stuff like that. So, it's really, really important to me. Definitely kind of defines a little bit of who I am and where I've come from. So those are some other hobbies that I enjoy. Anything else you want to throw in there? Fabs is a big, I don't know where it's going with that. I was going to joke, but nothing came up. So
yeah, no.
Now I know
they make fun of me because I'm not like, I played football in high school, like 10th
and he
grade.
hated it.
So I was a senior, and during that time, Monday through Saturday was football, and then Sundays was soccer because I was on this traveling team. But for some reason, I just could never, like, I'll watch the Super Bowl every single year. But besides that, I will never watch a single game. I just can't get into it. I think it's boring. I will play football all day, every day, but I cannot sit there and watch. I don't know. I just feel useless watching sports. Even Even soccer, like unless it's like the World Cup or even this past World Cup, I barely watched any games. I was watching the highlights just because it's like to sit there for hours. You know what I mean? Like I'll do it, but it's like, man, like do I really want to do that? So that's why. But I don't like hate football. It's just I'd rather play it.
Do you read?
Reading's for rich people, so I try not to do that either. You know. No, I've never been a reader because I'm dyslexic, so so it's not something that
Are
I
you?
look forward to.
Are you really though?
100%.
Have you been diagnosed?
Well, no, I know that when I'm reading out loud and I'm flipping words for no reason, like I know it's a problem. So yeah, I don't have to go to the doctor to tell me, oh, you're
What?
you're not reading properly. You know.
It's not a disability. It's just a different way of learning. You see things differently.
Yeah, and I know exactly when it happened to me too. And we can't talk about that here, but I know exactly why it happened to me. No, I know exactly when it happened to me.
Because I actually am dyslexic. I had to go to because I was struggling in school, so I actually had to go to like a special tutor to help me like change how I was learning and how I was trying to read. And I had to do that for like 3 years, and I think it was twice a week.
Yeah,
But school was always difficult for me. It wasn't like I didn't get like straight A's or anything like that. And you see things flipped around, or you hear something and you hear it wrong, or you try to. I learn better by like seeing it in action as opposed to you telling me. I can't translate it as well.
Yeah,
so
visual.
just one more thing we have in common then, best friend.
Yeah, no, my parents didn't even have insurance, so where was I going to go to the doctor to get diagnosed? You know what I mean? Like I just knew I wasn't reading properly, and that was it. And another thing to read a paragraph, it took me 2 days. So I was like, this is not right, you know.
Well, I can read. I don't getting on the reading subject. I don't read books. Like if anybody's ever like, you ever read this book? I'm like, did they make a movie?
Exactly.
Make a movie and then I'll watch it.
Yeah,
but
same.
I could read pages and I wouldn't know what the hell I just read. Like it was just in and out.
No, and I would read it out loud to see if some would stick. And I would catch myself reading the same line over and over, trying to figure out what it is that where am I going with this sentence? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this was like my whole same thing for the summer readings. Remember in the summer, like for middle school, like you needed to read a book every summer. I don't know if you guys did over there, but in New York you had to. I would never do the summer reading. I would always just read the back of the book just to see get some idea of what happened and then write my paper on that. Like that's how crazy it was. Because I was just reading completely would turn me off. And then when I had to read out loud in front of the whole classroom or whatever, forget it. Goodbye. No, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, and I went to public school and they just told my mom and dad he just needs to focus better, and they just weren't really much help. So then that's why they were like, well, we gotta figure out what's going on. And
it's a new brain, guys.
We're gonna do a lobotomy. See if that helps. So I know you don't watch TV. So this is probably more of a question for me than I guess, but you don't watch a lot of TV. But the next question is what shows are you watching right now that have your complete attention? What are you into right now? I can go first. There's 2 shows for me, and it's The Last of Us on HBO because I played the game. I'm actually playing the second game right now, and that's been really good. So I'm really into that. Actually, I completely missed last night's episode because I was actually playing the game and I forgot it came out. So I was so into the game that I woke up this morning. I was like, oh crap! I missed The Last of Us. And then 1923 is another one that I'm watching, and that's part of the Yellowstone, I guess, universe. I think you would like Yellowstone. And
I heard something about that show that I was like, are you kidding me?
What'd you hear?
So apparently, again, I haven't watched a single, not even 30 seconds of it. But apparently what they're doing with that show, again, I don't know. This is what I heard. So I don't know if it's true or not. Apparently they're using this guy. He's supposed to be a cowboy Democrat. Is that true?
No, he's a conservative, actually.
Oh, so yes, that's what. So I heard that what they were trying to do with that show is make him come off like this conservative, Democrats, and to push whatever they're, trying to push on the show with whatever the show's agenda is. But I don't know. Yeah. That's what I heard.
So basically, he's like I don't quote me. It's 5th generation ranch owner of this multi-thousand acre ranch in Montana. You know, they're very much of like leaving the land how it is, and you know the government is kind of like wanting to build an airport and hotels and bring tourism in, and they're trying to take over the ranch, and he's very, you know, against that. So he actually runs for governor so that he can like do anything he can to hold on to his ranch. And it's almost like he runs a mafia too. Like anybody that works for him, he brands them and they can't leave. And unless it's like by the train, which is throwing you off a cliff after they shot you. So like
What?
there's some dirty stuff that goes on. You know, they'll do pretty much whatever they need to do to keep their ranch. And they're very like it's kind of like everybody's got their own political views, but it's kind of a nice breath of fresh air just because it is different from like some of this other stuff that you're getting where it's more of like a different side. But what they're doing is, so they've made Yellowstone, but then they've gone back and they made, it's just one season. It's called 1883. And it's like how that family got to that land and took over that land. And it's like the Oregon Trail and how it, you know, took them to there. But it's really like, there's nothing happy about these shows. It's very like sad and emotional. But then
I just thought it was like a politician show. That was it.
yeah, but then they're making 1923, which is what's on now, and they want to have like Matthew McConaughey come in and do, I think 1944. So they're just like making this big universe out of it.
Oh, out of the show, out of this one show.
Yep. Yeah.
That's insane.
So those are the two movies that I've been or not movies, but shows that I've been really into.
Yeah, no.
Anything that you're kind of watching?
No, nothing.
Married with Children.
I would no. Yeah, okay. I've been wanting to start watching, just to refresh my memory, The Mandalorian season 2. Just right before it starts, just so I know, you know what I mean. So I don't miss anything, because little
get back into it.
Yeah, like little things are going to happen that first episode where you're going to need to remember, a few things at least. So I want to do that. Besides,
you almost have to watch Book of Boba Fett too.
Who you?
At least, well, like those 2 episodes that are mainly Mando, and then even in the end.
Oh yeah.
Then because then they leave and you forget kind of where they're going or whatnot. So
right, yeah, no, I thought you meant like I didn't watch it. No, I watched the show, the Boba Fett show. But yeah, no, that's the only thing I would start watching, if anything. But no, I'm not watching anything right now at all. I'll watch some Shark Tank here and there, but that's about it.
I like Shark Tank, actually. My wife doesn't like it. She says it makes her anxious, but I like it. It's fun.
It's fun. No, it's a good show.
So when season 3 of Mando comes out, are you going to watch it like week by week? Or are you going to like sit down and watch it, or you watch it at the end?
No, I tried to watch it as it comes out, just because I want to be aware of like what goes on the show, and then obviously to see what figures may be announced from that, or what potential figures we may get. So I like watching it, and then for when anybody's talking about it, I know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? And I could like involve myself in the conversation if I have to. But usually, as soon as the episode airs, I watch it right away.
Single Songwriter says, Neo told me to unplug from the Matrix many years ago, and I haven't plugged back in since.
Neo.
Eddie likes to box and MMA, only sport I could sit and watch.
Yeah, that MMA I could watch all day, every day. I was addicted to MMA for a long time, which is why I got all those figures. Look, let me show you guys real quick.
Yeah.
So I got like, from this line, I have every single figure ever made. Like, I was like really, really, really hardcore about this whole UFC, and I had all around like the entire perimeter of the basement. I have every single figure. There were 2 companies. There was this one, which was UFC, and then there was Round 5 MMA. Those 2 companies, I have like pretty much every single figure. So I was really, really hardcore with the UFC too. But then they got too commercialized, and I was like, oh, that's it, and it just got boring for me.
Eddie says, wasn't the main actor going to bounce from the show? He's talking about Yellowstone. That's Kevin Costner. Yeah, I've been hearing serious rumors that he's done after this season, which picks back up in the summer, and they might even end the show Yellowstone. It's season 5. They might end it, but then they're gonna keep like branching out. So that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I've heard Matthew McConaughey's coming in. So maybe they're gonna like pass the torch from Kevin Costner to Matthew McConaughey and do like a different, like a 1944 or whatever. Joker says, "Do people constantly apologize on these shows?" Elaborate.
Apologize about what?
I've been rewatching The Strain on FX. Never saw that.
Strain.
Fabs, you need to watch the last 3 episodes of Book of Boba.
Oh, I remember them. I don't know why.
Maybe
but
rewatch just to refresh.
Yeah,
I might do that. I mean, since Mando season 2 came out, what, a year? Was it 2 years ago? Because it was like the fall of 2021, I think. Yeah, because Boba Fett came out last year.
Yeah, it was in 2022.
Yeah, so damn, that's a long time. But I have watched the last episode where Luke comes a bunch since then, so I kind of know where that left off. But then, yeah, it might be a good idea to just rewatch the last 3 episodes of Book of Boba. Let's see. Professional wrestling. That's where the real competition is at.
Like WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
WWE.
That's definitely a real competition there.
Do you have a Rich Franklin?
Yes, I do actually. Actually, he's the one figure that doesn't belong because he's the only figure that's his arms are like this. So he like takes up more room, horizontally than every other figure. So he's actually all the way up there. So yeah, I do have him. I have every single fighter. Those things were cool collecting them, and then they just stopped making them all of a sudden because again, it got too commercialized and it was just ridiculous.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, we're pretty much caught up in the chat. I did want this to be kind of a shorter, like an hour and a half type, and we're about an hour and 22 minutes. So,
But
Fabs,
talk about the announcement? Are you not?
What announcement?
Did we get something today?
Yeah.
What did we get?
Paz.
Oh, that's right. We talked about it. Never mind.
Yeah. Guy's creeping me out here.
I'm like,
any figures you got coming in? Anything
all of that.
shipping?
Yeah, I got what's today? Today's Monday. So on Wednesday, I am getting the DeLorean and Wonder Woman. I believe they're coming together. They haven't shipped my Mark 1 yet. I don't know what's taking so long. What else? That's it. Oh, yeah, I'm getting my Damn Toys Claire figure that was just released, so that's on its way. It should be here this week at some point, hopefully by Friday. If not, then probably Monday or Tuesday. And that's it so far.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the DeLorean and that Scissorhands figure. I don't know when Kit will be shipping that out. I don't know if I'm on
Which one?
A batch, the Scissorhands figure.
Are you still waiting for yours, or he's waiting for the whole batch?
I'm waiting for mine, so I'm just wondering if I'm on a batch that he doesn't have yet.
Oh, I don't
So
know.
that, and then I got the Chromando Deluxe coming in, so that'll be here hopefully by the end of the week. Still gotta unbox that Transport Trooper, but maybe now I'll be able to do that.
Oh,
so
you have
that
to.
out.
You have to do that.
I think I'm gonna put the Pedro Pascal head sculpt on there.
You have to,
and then he can just hold the helmet. Yeah,
you have to. That's how I have it. The one thing though, I am going to tell you. So there's a little trick. You can do 2 things. One of them is using the inside of the Transport Trooper, actually neck post, that material, so you could cover, the neck. Or You could use the inserts of. So I don't know if you remember when you open up a hot toy. There's usually these black inserts like for padding, but they're
The
these
foam,
little
yeah.
yeah, like but they're very very thin. You can use that too.
Okay. What did you do? Which did you just use the
I left it like
transport trooper thing?
yeah. I have the Pedro Pascal head on the transport trooper, and then him wearing
There's
just
the
the
neck
regular.
exposed.
Right, his neck is exposed right now because I'm looking for a little piece. I haven't found one in one of the boxes, but as soon as I find one, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some of the blue tack, and I'm just going to put it on here and then just hold the piece around, and it'll just cover it, and that's it. It'll look fine.
Single songwriter says, "Will there be a Hot Toys drop after 3 a.m. East Coast time?"
It could be.
Pablo says, "Hoping Clone Jesse release as a curve."
Yeah, we're going to get bombarded again with all these because we still got a ton. We still got a ton to come out.
I wish
And now,
Ahsoka would come out.
and apparently, Black Adam, Golden Armor, and Deluxe version are both almost gone on Sideshow. Do I believe it? Absolutely not, but that's what it's saying.
Really quickly, too, before we head out, here's the best sellers right now on Sideshow. Any surprises for you?
Best sellers?
Yeah, the current best sellers.
No, not surprised. That's about right. You got Batman, you got the Batmobile, you got the DeLorean.
Daredevil.
I'm surprised about Daredevil, but I'm not because of that new suit, and everybody wants that yellow suit. That Mandalorian is fire. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna love that thing. Probably the best, not the best, but one of the best Mandalorians. The reason why I say one of the best is because I love everything about it. And the accessories, but the one before that has cool accessories too. So I like both accessories, but I like, this figure better.
Do you have yours posed with all the deluxe stuff on?
No. So what I ended up doing was, because I have a soup bike, I ended up I loaded up the whole soup bike with all that stuff because it's an option too. You can load up all those packages on top of in the back of the soup bike. So that's what I did. And then I have them just with the pouch of Grogu in the bag, and then holding the spear. No, he's holding the dark saber and the spear. He's got it like hanging from his shoulder. Very basic.
That's cool too. Yeah, it's cool that he comes with the pouch and then the dark saber. Plus, pretty much, he also comes with the Beskar bow or whatever the name of it was. But it comes with a lot of cool stuff. But then he comes with pretty much everything that you had with the other ones too. So and then you get that chrome look. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Stormtrooper Commander is kind of interesting that it's this high up.
Yeah, and if you guys are looking to get rid of your Chrome Mando, message me because I'm looking to trade for a second one. I want to clean the weathering from it, and I want to get that clean look. So if you guys are looking to trade for it, just message me because I need it.
And he needs it now.
I need it now.
Paz Vizsla's up here. These Mandos are still selling pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's on pretty good sale. Geez, $100, almost $100 off. $80.
Yeah, the accessories for that figure were great too. That's why it's like, man, like that Cobb Vanth. I can't wait for that figure. My God, that RoboCop 3 is going to be beautiful.
July to December.
Order it.
So he'll be here next year.
Order it. Look at that. Look how beautiful.
July to December. I love it that it's the same faceplate. That's what I really love about it.
Do you realize, did you see the pictures of mine compared to this?
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
I have. Yeah, it's night and day.
Mine looks like a stumped little weird figure, and now it's like completely different.
It literally looks like the face was painted on too.
It really does. It's the cheapest paint job ever.
I haven't pre-ordered a Batman yet. I'm gonna get one, probably this deluxe, but I don't think I want to pre-order it.
Get the better version of whichever you get. Wow, Electro waitlist is full. I'm shocked about that.
Cad Bane, July to December. There's gonna be a lot of stuff hitting. Yeah, like you said.
I'm telling you,
at the same time.
I've said that. I started saying that before New Year, before Chinese New Year. I said, we're going to get destroyed when they get back. Just wait.
Let's go to pre-release here quick. Yeah, it says, so Grand Inquisitor says almost gone. You say you don't believe that, correct?
Absolutely not.
Tactical Batman says almost gone. They're going to get more because they want to make money too. They're going to get more if it's selling out, I would think. If they're trying to correct what was happening in the past, I got to think they're just trying to gauge numbers, but now that those are selling out so quickly, they're going to get more, and then they're going to sell more of those figures.
Yeah, I feel
waitlist
like,
for RoboCop.
Yeah, I feel like none of this is true. I feel like,
Waitlist.
If they're waitlisted, I think it's what's going to happen is, you're going to get a bunch of cancellations, and they're going to open up, and then that's it.
Yeah. Spidey. This Luke's got to be coming out pretty quick too. March to May. That's gonna be a cool one.
March to May. Oh my God. Yeah, no, we got a ton coming.
I'm trying to find Ahsoka because I know she got pushed back.
She got pushed back 2 times already.
Catwoman's February to March, so this one could hit somewhat soon. Which is one that I want.
Yeah, that's soon. Ahsoka soon.
Scarlet Witch July to December. But the WandaVision one's pretty quick.
Yeah, the other one's soon. Captain America Falcon should be soon.
Yeah, February.
That motorcycle sold out already?
So it says, yeah, waitlist full.
And I almost ordered 2, and I only got 1.
R2 full. War Machine almost gone.
Wait, is that Batman? Waitlist. What did you say Batman?
Pre-order.
Oh, I was going to say. I was like, there's no way.
Kate Bishop's waitlist full. Doctor Strange waitlist open. This is too many things that are not even out yet that are like waitlist. So you got to know they're going to be available. I mean, waitlist for the Mark IV. Waitlist for Toy Story.
I can't wait. Buzz. Oh my God, that Buzz. I think you skipped Ahsoka, no?
Maybe. So Wanda's now March to July. That's crazy. I know Rob's pissed about that.
See, like that's when it sucks. When like you don't buy as many Hot Toys as it is, and the one you're waiting for is like delayed 18 months. Like what the hell?
Hot Toys there, but almost gone.
Which one? The deluxe?
Both of them. March to July still. That's been a while. I wonder if they're just trying to get that head sculpt right.
No, everybody thinks that they're waiting. You think they're waiting last second to fix anything right now? Are you crazy?
But it's been delayed twice.
It's not because of the head sculpt.
Think it's going to come out during Mando?
Probably.
Eddie was asking if Daredevil was almost gone. No, that was still just under pre-order, and it's too new to just be already.
No, Daredevil is
close.
Bestseller.
Yeah, just bestseller. But are you getting the Doc Brown sculpt on 1/6 kit? I am. Yes, I have mine ordered already.
Oh, I didn't even order mine yet.
Look at that! I beat you to something.
I know. Well, no, because I know they're going to be available, when they're out, so I don't need to pre-order. But that's going to look nice. If you have the other one, obviously, if you have both figures, being able to have 2 different looks on both figures is going to look really cool.
Yeah. All right, Fabs. Anything else you got for me?
Wait, that's it? No. We have. What about? Remember, I told you we got to talk about that thing.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that inert thing.
The Joker?
That's taking over the world with that amazing...
everybody's talked about that enough. I think we're good there.
Oh,
we talked about it on Fab's show if you guys want to see it.
I wanted to talk about modify the base.
Take a hammer.
Yeah,
And,
literally.
smash it.
Yeah.
No, it is just really quickly. It is weird though. Like maybe I don't know as much about magnets as Inart does, but yeah, make the whole top a magnet. Like what the hell?
It's like it's the craziest, most like I think. But I don't know if you watched that video though, how you modify the. I mean, not that you should have to do that with a premium product, but it's like you got to like cut.
He's never gonna let that go.
No, it's like yeah, because it's like come on, like you're so premium, but you can't even you can't even like glue a magnet properly. Like come on.
Yeah, it's
Frustrating.
it's saddening. Yeah, it's very frustrating. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, thank you for tuning into the show tonight. I appreciate all of the conversation and the the topics that you guys gave, the questions. Keep it coming. Hopefully, as we do this, periodically, we're still doing Six Scale Symposium, but like if it's like slow news, I kind of want to do stuff like this where you guys just can have your input and kind of direct and dictate the show. So yeah, just make sure you guys keep the topics coming. If you want to, you can always hit me up on IG and shoot me a topic as well. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Fabs, thank you for always having my back and being here. I appreciate you, sir. And until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Good night.